Clearly the best music in the shop. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Baseball Tonight. Steve Levy along with Dave Campbell, fresh off his coast-to-coast journey. Soup's thoughts on a pitcher who was forced to go coast-to-coast today in just a bit. But first, the first of two trades that has pumped up a pair of contenders looking to make a run. The Angels take a step backwards into their past, take a shot into the immediate future. Reacquiring Jim Abbott, who broke in with the Halos back in 1989. It's Abbott and reliever Tim Fortuneau from the White Sox in exchange for 4 minor leaguers. The 27-year-old Abbott was 6-4 in his 17 starts for the White Sox, an ERA of 3.36. And while they liked him in Chicago, they just adored the guy in Anaheim, where he played 4 seasons. Among them, his career best in 91, he went 18-11 with an ERA of 2.89 and finished 3rd in the Cy Young balloting. So here's what we're talking about. Fortuneau is a workhorse, made a team-high 37 appearances for the Sox. Among the others going the other way, outfielder McKay Christensen, who was California's first-round pick in last year's free agent draft. 1 deal down, 1 to go. The Indians pick up right 5.06. It is Hill's 2nd trade of the season. You might recall the Expos dealt with the Cards in April. The 29-year-old Hill represented Montreal very nicely as a starter in last year's All-Star game. So what about the 3 minor leaguers going the other way? Well, one name should stand out, that classic baseball name, Bell. AAA third baseman David Bell, Buddy's kid, is on the move. And neither Bell real upset about it. David realizing there isn't any kind of Jim Thome block in St. Louis. A-ball righty Rick Heiserman and rookie league catcher Pepe McNeil are also now Card property. Well, Hill was in Montreal with the Cards on his way to Seattle to join the Indians. His normal turn to pitch would be tomorrow night. Mike Hargrove agrees he'll get that start tomorrow. What's your take on the deal?
Well, I mean, Ken Hill's not the pitcher he's been the last couple of years. 45 walks, 50 strikeouts, and 16 home runs tells you that he is not pitching with the same velocity. Hargrove, I saw an interview tonight, said that obviously they're a little concerned about it, but they also know that he's a warrior. He goes to the post when he's hurt. That's one thing in Montreal. He had a groin pull for about 6 weeks, and Felipe Alou said, you can't get this guy out of there. So he is a warrior. He gives them some depth.
At least for now, he'll take Mark Clark's spot in the Cleveland rotation. As far as the Abbott deal goes now, the Angels sort of weighed down on the left side. They got 4 southpaws in their starting rotation. Angels looking to crank it up again, opening up a weekend series in Seattle. There's the skipper, Mike Hargrove's got another starter to work with. Got plenty of hitting. Manny Ramirez, 3-run bomb, his 23rd with 2 outs coming in the first inning by Thome, scored to make it 4-0. Dave Winfield led off the 2nd inning with a solo home run, his 2nd of the year. So make it 5-0 in favor of Cleveland in the bottom of the 2nd. Well, quite often we will all reach back for what is supposed to be a comforting phrase, the old, I know how you're feeling. Most of the time you really don't. You're just trying to make the other person feel better. But when the Orioles say it to the Rangers, it's real. Texas going through a dreadful streak, loses of 10 straight. But Baltimore's been there. They lost 7 straight just last month. The O's have fought their way out of it. Could the Rangers? Johnny Oates trying to signal for a Ranger win. Top of the first, scoreless. Leadoff batter, Kevin Brown. Fans Otis Nixon, the pitch in the dirt. Bottom of the 2nd, Roger Pavlik starting for Texas. He freezes Ripken. Bottom of the 6th, Anderson on 3rd after a leadoff triple. Brett Barbary doubles past Mark McLemore. Anderson scores, make it 1-0 Birds. Top of the 8th, 1-1 Will Clark on 2nd. And Mickey Tettleton a drive. The yard holds this one. It scores Clark. The Rangers a 2-1 lead, and that's where they stand right now as they move to the top of the 9th. Mike Pagliarula has a pair of doubles in this one. Rangers trying to end that horrible streak. Sox and Sox this afternoon from the Fens. 4th inning, 1-0 Chicago. Frank Thomas at the plate. Jeff Supan, the opposition. Big Frank shows you the strength. Going the other way, that's Bob 26. 2-0 White Sox. Moving on to the 5th. Tied at 2, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Lee Tinsley slaps the single to the left. Bill Hasselman scores, makes it 3-2. The Red Sox can go up 4-2, Dave.
Yeah, but then they hit the wall. 6th inning, 2 outs. Greenwell on 3rd base. Hasselman with a chance for an insurance run. No. Strikeout. 7th inning. Man on 2nd. Willie McGee, 2 outs. No. Fly ball routine to center field. One more chance in the 8th inning. Bases loaded. Sox can put this game away. Luis Alicea, bouncer to Frank Thomas, inning over, and it is going to prove costly.
So we do pick it up in the 9th. 4th for Red Sox. Rick Aguilera on for the save. Lance Johnson, double inside the bag. Roberto Martin comes in, tied at 4. Next batter, Tim Raines. Lazy grounder, Luis Alicea. Can't get it. Johnson scores 5 for Chicago. Bottom 9, 2 outs. Willie McGee rips a shot to left. Dave Martinez playing the wall perfectly in the throw. McGee is called safe at second base. Terry Bevington argues to no avail. It would not matter. Next batter, Roberto Hernandez blows it by Mo for the strikeout. And the White Sox hang on to win 5-4. Their 15th comeback win of the season. So make Aguilera 7 for 8 in save opportunities. In case you're curious, the Twins bullpen is a perfect 4 for 4 in their save ops since the deal. But Aggie's got the right attitude. He said it probably won't be the last time I'll blow a save. I'll get over it. The Yanks and the Royals. A look back at last night. Bottom of the ninth, the Greg Gagne hit. Umpire Dale Scott calls Wally Joyner safe. And the Royals win. Dale Scott not behind the plate today. Top of the fourth. Mike Stanley grounded towards short. Gets by Gagne. Deion James scores. Play at the plate. Paul O'Neill coming in. Pat Borders tags him. Jim McKee calls him out.
Can depend on.
Comes around to score. Barris out trying to stretch it into a off Steve Reed to tie it.
Like
fifth. Phil's trailing 3-2. Jeff Juden laboring in the heat. Jim Fregosi goes to his bullpen, calls for Mike Mims. Mims, the K on Nelson Liriano with the bases loaded, 1 out. He got the Phils out of that jam. Bottom 7, game tied at 3. Leland takes out starter John Eriks for Dan Plesac, and Plesac facing Darren Dalton gives up the base hit. Morandini scores. Next batter, Tony Longmire continues to do it. Going deep to center off Plesac, double off the wall, scores Andy Van Slyke. Plesac gave up 3 straight hits to lefties. The Phils get 4 runs in the inning and win 6-4. Michael Mims probably could get used to this relief stuff. After 16 starts, he comes out of the bullpen, pitches a leisurely 2 2/3 to pick up his 7th win. Cards starting their 5-game trip in Montreal. Someone had the Cards climbing walls today. That someone was Rondell White. Had a great catch yesterday with a runner on second. Jose Oquendo bloops it, and White is there for that one as well. 8th inning, score tied at 1. White base hit to center. Then White gets himself in the scoring position, steals the bag at second. And David Segui rips one to center. White comes around. Swung and missed more. Wrapping up the 2-game mini-series at Chavez Ravine. Willie Banks in his 7.68 ERA starting for L.A. Top of the first, no score. 3-2 to David Justice. Sends it the other way. 3-run shot in the night. 3-0 in favor of the Braves. And Tommy not enjoying on this one. Bottom of the second. Still 3-0. Kent Merker pitching. A walk to Eric Karros. Next batter, Roberto Kelly. Well, he walks. Chicago, you know what? They adore putting the Indians in the World Series for sure.
Well, you know, I don't think you can.
Starts with the Sox. Classic baseball name Bell. AAA third, the guy in Anaheim, where he played 4 seasons. Among them, his career best. In 91, went 18-11 with an ERA of 2.89. He finished 3rd in the Cy Young balloting. So here's what we're talking about here. Tim Fortuneau is a workhorse. He made a team-high 37 appearances for the Sox. Among the others going the other way, you see outfielder McKay Christensen. He was California's first-round pick in last year's free agent deal. And Dave, let's start with the Indians' acquisition of Ken Hill. A lot of people might feel that locks it up for the Indians. Not me, you understand, but a lot of people see this putting the Indians in the World Series for sure.
Well, you know, I don't think you can ever assume that, especially when you got to play 2 series to get to the World Series. But Kenny Hill gives them a lot of depth. You know, they're a little concerned about Dennis Martinez and his knee. Oral Hershiser's had a back problem this year. Charles Nagy coming off arm surgery a year ago. O.J. struggling, obviously, tonight. So this gives them another arm. I know they're concerned about Kenny Hill this year, though. 45 walks.
What a rarity that is in their starting rotation.
Yeah, and I think the ramifications go beyond the season right now. You might look to postseason if they match up with the Indians. The Indians, over the last 2 years, have really struggled against left-handers. That's why it's important that Winfield get going. You hit that home run tonight. But the Indians, the last 2 years, have a losing record against left-handed pitching. Against right-handed starters, their winning percentage is .713, so lefties give them some trouble.
Okay. So the Angels improve their rotation and their bullpen with a single deal, and Abbott should feel pretty comfy. His new manager, Marcel Latchman, that's his old pitching coach. Abbott is already scheduled to make his re-debut for California on Saturday against the wild card leaders, the Brewers, and they are going at it tonight in Milwaukee County Stadium, bottom of the 8th inning. It's 4-3 in favor of California. And the knuckleballer, Steve Sparks, on the mound for Milwaukee. Jim Edmonds, 2 for 4 in this one as an RBI. 32 RBIs for Edmonds in the month of July.